I've spent years taking handwritten notes. In fact, I have 7 years worth of notes from school and 2 years worth of notes from Oxford, and so many more from big exams I've done over the years for yachting or other things. But over the years, something has changed, and it's happened organically. I've almost completely switched to digital notes. Things like my iPad, laptop, using different software, and it's all sort of happened, but without me realizing. So I started asking myself, which method is really better? Have I improved my life by switching to digital? What is better for learning, handwritten or digital notes? Stick around if you want to find out. Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. I'm Bartol. I'm an Oxford graduate with a master's in mechanical engineering. I've studied my entire life and have made all the possible mistakes there are to make. And so on this channel, I'll be sharing tips that I've learned from them so that you don't have to repeat them. Over the years, I've helped more than 100 students applying to Oxford and Cambridge and know exactly what people should and shouldn't do when studying. From time to time, I'll also show other parts of my life, like sailing yachts in the Mediterranean for clients or being a private chef and host in the French Alps. Keep signing into these videos to stay updated on everything I do. Now, before we dive into this handwritten versus digital debate, let me just say I know what it's like to be juggling a million things, whether it's lectures, study sessions, or work, and trying to find what really works for you. I get it, and this is one of the important things that we might consider. How do we structure our notes to improve our revision? So let's break it all down. I've used both methods extensively, so I'll share why or how I made the shift to digital and how it's worked for me. But don't worry, I'm not here to tell you one method is better than the other. I'm just going to share my experience so you can make the choice that is right for you. So for my first years at Oxford, handwritten notes were the way to go. I just didn't know there other options existed. I would attend lectures, jot down everything I thought was important, and then condense them just before the exams. I'd condense just the key points to make sure I could really commit them to memory. Here's exactly how I used this method. So after each lecture, I'd write everything down, all the details, the stuff that I thought would be helpful later. Then as the exam time approached, I'd go back through all these notes for each lecture and highlight or rewrite them in a condensed form, almost 6 lectures fitting a single page of A4 paper. I'd write down just the essentials that I wanted to make sure stuck in my brain. I'd then go over these condensed notes until I could recall anything and everything without having to look at them. And this worked for me, and there's actual research which backs up why this works. Studies show that handwritten notes help improve retention. One study even showing that students who wrote handwritten notes perform better on tasks compared to those who typed. Now, why is this? Well, it's because when you're writing slower, and so you don't have time to just copy word by word what the professors or lecturers are saying. And so you have to filter out the important parts so you can keep up. By doing this, you're already starting the first stage of learning, which is condensing without even realizing. Your brain has to work harder to understand and summarize the material. That deeper processing helps you remember it better. So the more your brain is working, converts to better results. The active learning process of handwriting notes. The real power of handwritten notes comes in that process of actively filtering out the most important parts. When I wrote by hand, I wasn't just writing for the sake of writing. I was deciding what was essential. This forces yourself to engage with the material in a meaningful way. But here's the problem. When you switch to typing, it's easy to slip into this transcription mode, where you just type everything that you hear. As I went through university, I realized handwritten notes weren't cutting it anymore. I was swamped with information, papers everywhere, and especially as an engineering student, handwritten notes just became inefficient. I just couldn't keep up anymore. And that's when I made the switch to digital tools. And let me tell you, it changed everything. So let me tell you why digital works for me. First of all, organization and searchability. One of the biggest game changers with digital notes is the ability to easily search for anything. If I need to review a specific concept, say beam stresses, it's a few clicks or taps away. I don't need to dig through piles of papers or notebooks to find that one key concept. This searchability saves tons of time, especially when I need to review something quickly. Accessibility. With digital notes, I can access everything I need, whether I'm at home, at a cafe, or on the go. My notes are all in one central place, and I can pull them up on any device. It's especially helpful when I'm mentoring students or need to reference something quickly. Instead of flipping through 15 notebooks, I just carry one single iPad and boom, everything is right there. Also, the ease of editing and updating. Updating and editing digital notes is way easier than with handwritten notes. I can add, delete, or rearrange content with just a few clicks or taps. No need to worry about messy crossings. This makes it simple to keep everything up to date, which is key when you're juggling multiple subjects or topics. Now finally, multimedia integration. Another major perk of digital notes is the ability to incorporate different forms of media. I can add images, videos, links to external resources directly into one document. If I need a diagram or a video, I can just simply copy and paste it. This makes notes much more interactive and makes the learning process more fun and engaging but also more productive. And finally, here's the best part for me. Digital tools are perfect for techniques like active recall and spaced repetition. These are both essential for retaining information long term. With digital notes, I can quiz myself, hide information, make flashcards so easily without having to take pictures or make things into PDFs by scanning them. So this was the game changer for me. With spaced repetition and active recall, I'm hitting the material at the optimal intervals for memory retention. Whereas with handwritten notes, it was harder to plan this out. There was more thinking rather than doing. I'd have to physically cover up sections of physical notes or rely on paper flashcards, which could get disorganized. Basically, all of the hard work is taken away and just the key productive process is kept. To be clear, handwritten notes did work for me for many years. I was very successful. They helped me learn deeply and engage with the material. But when the volume of information becomes overwhelming, such as a university, digital notes just make more sense. Not only did they make organizing and reviewing easier, but they allowed me to integrate tools like search functions, multimedia, and spaced repetition, all of which helped me study more effectively. So here's my takeaway. Both handwritten and digital notes have their pros and cons. If handwritten notes are still working for you, stick with them. But if you're finding that you're losing track of material or feeling overwhelmed, it might be time to try digital. They can save you time, help you organize, and even make studying more efficient and effective. Now, I've shared my opinions, and I'd love to hear about yours. Do you swear by handwritten notes, or are you a digital convert? Let me know in the comments below. And if you've found this video helpful, consider subscribing and liking the video for more tips and strategies on how to study productively and just to keep updated on my life. I'd greatly appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Goodbye.